It's now 4:30. This is WKYT This Morning. We're hearing from some people who saw a bad crash involving a school bus in Franklin County.
Also, we're learning more about a Kentucky State football player who was shot and killed earlier this week in his hometown in California. We'll hear how professors are remembering Josh Williams.
And we're also learning more about the frightening moments for people who were trapped inside the Pulse nightclub during that shooting in Orlando. That and more ahead on WKYT This Morning.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning. So good to have you with us on this Friday as we welcome you in and get ready for the weekend. I'm Bill Bryant.
I'm Rebecca Smith. Let's get a look at what weather is going to be. It's going to be nice.
Yeah, it looks good. Here's Micah.
Yeah, much nicer conditions temperature-wise as we drop that from 90 to 93 degrees. We actually hit 93 yesterday here in Lexington. And what we're going to be dealing with once we travel off through the day, we're still going to be seeing a small chance of rain, and most of that should be for eastern Kentucky, at least I-75 eastbound, but nothing going on this morning, so you're good to go. That's mainly toward the afternoon hours. Temperatures will be in the 60s and 70s when you walk out the door, but once we hit the afternoon, we're at 82 degrees, about a 10-degree difference from yesterday. Remember that chance of rain once again, small chance, and it's mainly east of I-75. I'll get into that, and I'll also show you your weekend forecast, obviously, because that looks good. That's coming up.
Well, that's what we look forward to, and we'll see you shortly. And witnesses say they did what they could to try to help, but police say 2 people suffered serious injuries when a school bus hit their car at a busy Franklin County intersection.
Well, the crash happened along US 127 in Frankfort. Officer Don shot some video from Sky First. You can see that there, that school bus. Garrett Weimer talked to some of the people who saw the crash.
From the moment the bus hit the car, folks working nearby knew the crash was bad.
They slung it into the air, it landed, bounced, and flew into the ditch there. It's awful.
And
Charles Cook and his co-workers working construction at the new Napa store grabbed their tools and equipment and did what they could to get the people out of the car.
I ran back over this way and grabbed a crowbar and hopped on top of it and just try to pry the door open for them so they can get to them.
And so the only choice was either bust the top off that car or get a door open.
The sheriff says the driver was airlifted to UK with life-threatening injuries. The car's passenger had serious injuries. The kids on the bus were okay.
The crash shut down 127 South for hours throughout the busy evening rush while crews investigated and cleaned up.
It's bad to have this happen at any time of the day, but right now it will be a huge impact on our afternoon rush hour.
The road reopened around 7 o'clock. When the construction crew got back to work, it was anything but business as usual after what happened right in front of them.
Everyone please pray for them.
In Frankfort, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
Well, the sheriff says about 50 students from Breathitt County were on the bus, plus a driver and a bus monitor. He says the students were probably between 4th and 6th grades. Investigators are still trying to figure out what led to the crash. Well, we've learned the name of a man killed in a crash near Harrodsburg. The Mercer County coroner identified the victim as Scotty Alcorn of Taylorsville. Investigators say Alcorn's car was headed north on US 127 when an SUV headed southbound crossed into his path.
Attempted to avoid that collision and was struck by an 18-wheeler. The driver of the silver car was killed upon impact.
Well, investigators say 3 people inside the SUV had to be taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The driver of the tractor trailer was not injured.
People who knew a Kentucky State University football player say he was a kind man with a big heart. Police say 24-year-old Josh Williams was shot and killed earlier this week in his hometown in California. WKYT's Monique Blair talks to one of his professors at KSU.
Josh is a very kind-hearted, respectful, genuine.
The words came easy for Dr. Shannon Brogan when asked to describe her former KSU student, Josh Williams.
I'm going to miss him a lot. I'm going to miss him a lot.
Williams was shot in his hometown of Inglewood, California. He was pronounced dead at the hospital. Williams was expected to come back to KSU this fall for his final year. Dr. Brogan says it was Williams' bright personality and especially his sense of humor that made him stand out in the classroom.
I was recalling those stories of the times that Josh would sit around and joke with me.
But Williams didn't only stand out in the classroom. Josh Williams played on this field here at KSU for 2 seasons, 2014 and 2015. And during his time as a KSU thoroughbred, he recorded 48 tackles, 3 sacks, and an interception. Williams began his college football career playing at Oregon State University before transferring to KSU.
Kentucky State University is going to miss him. Oregon State's going to miss him. But the game of football is going to miss him.
Now Williams' teammates will honor him on the field throughout their upcoming season.
Josh will definitely be with them, just in a different way.
In Franklin County,
We definitely gained an angel.
Monique Blair, WKYT.
So far, police in California have not made any arrests in the case.
A large fire ripped through a Kentucky fast food restaurant, causing quite a bit of damage. It happened around 4 yesterday afternoon at a McDonald's in Elizabethtown. Firefighters think the fire started in some mulch outside, then quickly spread to that building. At first, McDonald's workers tried to put out the fire themselves, but they couldn't. Firefighters say all customers and workers got out of the restaurant safe. One first responder did have to go to the hospital for heat exhaustion, but firefighters say he'll be okay. At this point, they do not think the fire was set on purpose.
Well, President Obama and Vice President Joe Biden met with some of the families who lost loved ones in the attack at a gay nightclub in Orlando.
And we are learning more about the frightening moments for people who were trapped inside the club during the shooting. Greg Boswell has the latest from Orlando.
This cell phone video captured the terror inside a bathroom at the Pulse nightclub. More than a dozen people were huddled together for 3 hours, hiding from gunman Omar Mateen.
I thought I was gonna die, and I figured, you know what, somebody has to know what really happened.
SWAT team captain Mark Canty made the decision to ultimately breach the bathroom wall, which ended the standoff.
During that entire time period, officers were rescuing people. We got a lot of people out before that last breach.
President Obama and Vice President Biden visited Orlando Thursday. They laid 49 white roses, one for each of the dead, at a memorial, and met with victims' families.
Through their pain and through their tears, they told us about the joy that their loved ones had brought to their lives.
People continue to stream through this memorial to reflect and to grieve together. Counselors are making themselves available to anyone who needs help. Investigators are tracing the gunman's moves leading up to the shooting. Mateen tried to buy body armor at this gun shop. Employees called the FBI to report Mateen's suspicious behavior but didn't know his name. A source tells CBS News during the rampage, Mateen was texting with his wife, Noor Salman. The source said she texted, "I love you." Salman has been cooperating with investigators and could possibly face charges. Craig Boswell, CBS News, Orlando.
When an argument for tightening gun laws, President Obama said that counterterrorism campaigns overseas will never be enough to prevent lone wolf attacks like the one in Orlando. Well, we have learned more about an alligator attack also in Orlando near the Disney Resort that killed a toddler. The medical examiner's office says an autopsy found 2-year-old Lane Graves died from drowning and traumatic injuries. Investigators say Lane was wading in shallow water near the Grand Floridian Resort Tuesday night when that alligator grabbed him and dragged him into that lagoon. Lane and his family were on vacation from Nebraska.
A man accused of shooting a Louisville police officer has been arrested in Florida. U.S. Marshals say they found 22-year-old Jaquan Crowley east of Orlando. Investigators say he had been staying in Florida with his sister. They say Crowley shot Louisville police officer Kyle Carroll Saturday night. The officer has survived and has since been released from the hospital. Crowley's arrest came a day after a $2,500 reward was offered in the case. In Lexington, the Urban County Council has given final approval to a $345 million budget for the city. Our news partners at the Herald Leader report the budget includes money to hire 20 new police officers and more than $5 million for a new fire station in Masterson Station. The budget also includes $7 million for a youth sports complex, along with money to upgrade city pools and a 3.5% raise for city employees. Mayor Gray told the newspaper he does not plan to veto any items in the budget. It's good to have you with us on WKYT this morning. We're just getting started here on your Friday.
Well, on the run first thing in the morning, you don't have to skip breakfast. We're sharing a quick, easy bite to eat coming up on WKYT this morning.
Temperatures outside early this morning and the mid-60s, but once we hit the afternoon, we're lower 80s. We're about 10 degrees lower than where we have been. I'm going to get into that. I'm going to show you your weekend forecast. It looks good. That's coming up next.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
Boy, yesterday was very steamy. We actually hit 93 degrees here in Lexington. A lot of us in the 90s yesterday. Not only that, but that humidity was way up too. Now, here's the deal. What's going on? The fronts move through. There's some good news for us. The bad news is we're still looking at the low pressure system over toward the east. And what that means for us, if you watch kind of the movement of what's going on to the north of us, you see that diving southbound? Those are clouds. Those are chances of rain. And we're getting that wraparound moisture. So the fronts move through, yes, but you're still going to get a chance of some wraparound moisture, meaning a chance of rain today, but it's not a great chance. Very small chance, and I'll show you where I expect that in about 30 seconds. Lexington, we're at 66 degrees. It's not a great start in terms of the way it feels outside. It doesn't feel that bad, don't get me wrong. It could be better, though. Once we hit the afternoon, we'll be at 82 degrees. That cooler, drier air filters in as we go through the day. Not that our temperatures will dive, but you're starting off in the mid-60s. You would think with a front moving through it would be 50s, maybe even 40s. But that cooler air is not here just yet. It's going to take some time. 82, though, by the afternoon. We'll take that. And that chance of rain you see, I would say anywhere from 2 p.m. to about 8 p.m. That's when you can expect a small chance at a passing shower here or there. Could you get a rumble of thunder? Yeah, it's possible. But most of this is going to be showers. Now, let's look where I expect these. So we go through your day, go off toward noontime. If you're heading out to lunch with some friends, some coworkers, doesn't look all that bad. Yeah, you'll have some clouds around, but no real rain chance. Then we get past that. Now watch this rain slowly glide in from the east. I would say it can come as far as the I-75 corridor. That means Lexington, we do have a slight chance of rain today, but the better opportunity is still going to be in eastern Kentucky because that's where all the moisture is located. So eastern Kentucky, you have a much better opportunity than, say, Lexington, Richmond, Danville, Frankfort. Frankfort, you're talking 10%. That goes for Danville, too. Harrodsburg, Nicholasville, Somerset, 10%. That's about it. But you work your way over toward Prestonsburg, Jackson, Salyersville, West Liberty. Those areas you're talking more like a 50% chance of rain. So obviously it gets increasingly better the farther east you go. So let's talk about your weekend forecasts. You get into Saturday and Sunday, and look, these are going to be very deceiving. Last Monday we hit 86 degrees for a high, but all I heard Monday as I was out and about is it actually feels really nice out here. And that's because humidity was way down. That's going to be the same case this weekend. Humidity is going to be down. 84 degrees, 87 degrees is kind of deceiving. It's actually going to be a pretty nice weekend in store with a lot of events going on. And don't forget, I keep nailing this into you Father's Day because I keep forgetting to get a card. I know. How
You're
bad is
cutting
that?
it close.
I am cutting it close. I got to get a card real quick and send it off.
To get a couple cards.
You're going to have to end up sending an email here if you're
Well,
not
that's
careful.
true. That's true.
All right, Micah, thank you very much. Well, our time is 4:46 this morning. We're all busy in the mornings, and sometimes you just don't have time to sit down to a big, good breakfast. But you can still get your day off to a strong start.
If grab and go is what you're after, today's Mom's Everyday Minute has a recipe for you.
Hi, we're in the kitchen with Liz Keplinger, blogger at Inspired by the Seasons, and today we're talking breakfast bites.
Yes.
These look like cookies.
They do look like cookies, which has got a great advantage when it comes to kids, and
Yes.
even just the portability of it is really nice, the shape and everything.
Grab and go.
The grab and go is what it's at. I eat mine right out of the freezer too.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just that soft that it really is nice for that,
Right.
and you know, it's just something you can have ready
Quick and
for
easy.
quite a
All right,
while.
what's in here?
So this would be oatmeal and cinnamon mixed in peanut butter, raisins, or any dried fruit works,
Yep.
brown sugar. Then you could either use pumpkin puree or mashed bananas. Those both work as your sweetener. It does take a little bit of effort to get them stirred in.
It's a little workout to stir them up.
Well worth it.
But they bake quick and they're really yummy and full of protein.
They do, and
Awesome.
yep.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
For these tips and more, go to WKYT.com. Click on Moms Every Day.
All right, there's an idea for you. A new way to
Always
get
need
started.
those.
4:47 the time, rolling toward 5 o'clock, bright and early, dark and early still, let's be honest. We're a few minutes away from some daylight.
Real dark, okay?
More news coming.
Police arrested two men who they say fired shots at a man on the sidewalk from their car. We have new details on the arrest this morning when we come back.
Hey, good morning. Welcome back into WKYT this morning. First cup of coffee there, right?
Second.
Oh,
already.
Okay, let's be honest with that one. 4:50, 10 till 5 now. And new this morning, we know the names of two men that Lexington police arrested after shots were fired in a neighborhood.
Police arrested Javier Johnson and Travantes Lillard after police say someone in a car fired shots at a man on the sidewalk along Judy Lane near Paris Pike. An off-duty police officer who lives nearby heard what happened and saw the two men and started chasing them. 2 miles away on Augusta Drive, police say they stopped the suspects and arrested them. Police charged Johnson with fleeing and evading and Lillard with wanton endangerment. Police say no one was injured.
Well, part of the Lee County Courthouse has been closed because some structural damage going on there. County leaders say in some courthouse offices, the floors have become detached from the walls, and they're trying to figure out why. The Family Support Protection and Permanency Services offices have been closed and temporarily moved over to the Owsley County Courthouse. A structural engineer is planning to look at the damage next week.
Nearly 40 years after police say he escaped from prison, a Georgia fugitive's been arrested in southern Kentucky. Police say Billy Birchfield was serving a 16-year sentence for manslaughter when he escaped from a Georgia prison in 1979. Since then, they say he assumed the name of a dead cousin and started calling himself Bill Arnold. A tip led them to a home in Laurel County last night where they say they confirmed the man living there is Birchfield. Neighbors say he used to own a gas station and restaurant and was always willing to help anyone who needed it.
A man wanted for a bank robbery in Bowling Green has been found dead in Tennessee. Police say 58-year-old Eddie Connor robbed Citizens First Bank on Tuesday. They say Connor later broke into a home near Nashville to hide. And police say when that homeowner returned, he and Connor fired shots at each other, killing both men. They say Connor had an extensive criminal history and was even the subject of an America's Most Wanted episode at one point.
Well, part of a Whitley County road was dug up to rescue a dog from a drain pipe. A family's dog went missing Tuesday, and Wednesday they found that dog stuck in the drain pipe under the front of their house. Firefighters could not get the dog out of the pipe, so they did what they had to do. And yesterday morning, the county road department arrived to dig up the old drain pipe and free Lily.
They were able to get the pipe out and the ground out to where the street is. And I got down into the ditch and called her. I could see her about 8 feet in.
Free Lily, right? Rather than Free Willie. At last check, Lily doing okay. The Whitley County Road Department really just did what they had to do and put in a much wider drain pipe so she would not get stuck in it again. What a sweet little doggy.
I know a lot of folks involved in that, including Mark White, who shot those pictures, but that's great. Well, Lily's cute, you know.
Lily is adorable.
Well worth a little drain pipe work there to get her out. All right, it's 4:53. Coming up, we'll take a look at some of the stories we're working on for you this morning.
We're also having a look at your morning forecast.
Rolling up on 4:57 on WKYT on your Friday.
It's time right now to take a look at some of the stories we're working on for you at this hour.
Busy morning ahead. Today, Lexington police are expected to meet with local gay bars to discuss increased security for their businesses. It, of course, comes after the mass shooting at a gay nightclub in Orlando, Florida. We're looking ahead to that meeting coming up in our next half hour of WKYT this morning. Governor Bevin also holding a news conference this morning at 10 o'clock. He says it's an important announcement, and we don't know what that is, so that's another thing later today.
A lot of things going on in Micah, especially with the Father's Day weekend.
Yeah, and Father's Day weekend looks really, really good. Now, we'll have temperatures in the mid-80s, but that humidity will be down, so there's some good news. 65 degrees right now in Lexington, Lawrenceburg. Go down into Springfield, not looking too bad this morning. If you're about to take off, have a great day. If not, I'm going to be talking about that weekend forecast. A shot at a little bit of rain later on this afternoon. A lot going on right here on WKYT News at 5 and 6.